Hey guys, welcome back to video 5. So in this video, we're going to be configuring sensors and the server. And by now you should be able to install both sensor and servers. But now we're going to go ahead and configure them and get that rolling. All right, so let's go ahead and pop open, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and pop open your server and your sensor. So I have them booted up. It takes probably around four minutes or so to get everything sorted out. So if you can get that up and running, that should be, you should be good. So first thing we're going to do is go on to the server. I want to do the server first. So just so we don't get any mix-ups here. So I want to put this in the center. So what we need to do first, we can click inside of the VM. And then if we go to configure hostname, because as you see, we have Alienvault as our hostname, but we want to have something a little more defined. So I want to put OSSIM server because I want to make it the same as the VM. I think that should be good. If you guys want to change it, whatever you want to put, you can put. Okay, I want to go ahead and hit OK. Okay, that's fine. So the next thing we're going to do is configure the source plugins. So make sure we have everything set up and configured there. So let's go ahead and go to So let's go ahead and configure sensor. And then here we're going to go ahead and configure the monitor plugins. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is set up the actual syslog, because now after we have everything set up, at that point, we're going to go ahead and push all the logs to our server. So you can just put, let's go all the way down. Whoa. Let's look for, all right, is it not here? Configure data source plugins, sorry. Now if I just type S, we can come down here. It's so small for me, so I apologize. So we look for sysvol, syslog, I mean. And then we just hit the spacebar to select it and hit OK. Okay, so once that's selected, we can go ahead and go back. So let's go back, hit enter. All right, so this is what we're going to do is apply all the changes here, yes. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing now for our sensor. So we'll give that a moment to cook and reboot and apply all the changes that's needed. And then we'll do the same exact thing. All right, so that configuration has finished. So now while that's doing its thing, we can bring this off to the side. We can hit OK here. That's fine. Now let's go ahead and open up our sensor and do the same thing with that. So now we're going to do the same exact thing. So let's come down to configure. Let's actually go back because I was already on it. So first thing first, I want to go ahead and configure the sensor. And then I want to go ahead and configure the data points, the data source plugins, sorry. And now I want to type in sysvol. I keep saying sysvol. Syslog. Syslog. And the reason why I keep saying sysvol, because I just before this recording, I was actually helping a friend out on his Windows server, and he was trying to get into the sysvol directory to do some stuff, and that's why I have it in my head. So I apologize. All right, so let's go ahead and hit enter here. Okay, so now with the sensor, there's a few things that we have to get done as well. Let's go back and configure network plugins. I mean, not network plugins, sorry. Let's go back and configure this is what we have to do. So we have to configure a Alienvault server IP and then the framework IP. What this is going to be is the server. So in my case, it's going to be whoops. I don't think I had my numlocks on. All right, there we go. 192.168.50. 150, no, 100, sorry, 100.150. Okay, so that's going to be the box over here. Okay, so let's hit OK there, and then do the same thing for the framework IP. And we're going to point to the same IP. In my case, it's 100.150. Okay, so hit OK there, and that should be it. Network monitoring. Okay, so now let's go ahead and configure network monitoring. So the promiscuous mode, if you remember from the previous videos, what we had to do is create 2 NICs in here. So by default, if you're familiar with Linux, maybe you've seen some of my Kali Linux videos and so on and so forth. So if you do like an if config, you're usually going to see the primary or the first IP on the interface of ETH0, which is the first interface. And any interfaces after that, it goes into sequential order, 1, 2, 3, etc. So now let's go ahead and put a tab there. We're going to go ahead and put that put that interface that we utilized. Okay. So that should be good there. And then let's go ahead and hit OK. All right. And then now what we have to do is just go ahead and go back. And we just have to apply all these changes. Okay, yes. And once that's done applying, at the bottom of the server, we should be pointing to the 192.168.100.150 address. So we'll give that a few moments to update the plugins and all the configuration, and we'll see where it is once it reboots. All right, so that is finished. So now let's go ahead and hit OK. So as you see at the bottom, to access the Alienvault web interface, we're going to go ahead and go to 192.168.100.150. So we're good. So it's going to point all the logs there. So there is one more thing. I totally forgot to do this. Configure sensor. Oh, let's go back. The host name. We have to configure the host name. Totally forgot about that. Almost forgot. So in this case, we're going to make it OSSIM sensor. Okay. I want to make it the same exact thing. So yeah, apply. Okay. So now we can just go back and apply all changes. Just want to make sure. Yes. So that should be it. So we'll wait till that reboots and make sure the host name is correct, the IP address is correct, and then it's still pointing to the 100.150 in my case. So my recommendation to you guys is follow along exactly how I'm doing it, IP to IP, just so there's no confusion or anything like that. So cool. So now we can see up here, I don't know if you can see that, OSSIM sensor, and then we have up here OSSIM server. And it's still pointing to 100.150. So that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned to the next one. Thank you.